Hello, I have unmuted myself. Thank you so much, Ryan. I'm just going to share my screen, get all the technology things out of the way, and then I will chat to you. Thank you so much, Ryan. I have been coming to Creative Mornings in Wellington since it started, since Elise started. I don't even know how many years ago that was. Ryan will be able to tell you, but I've been coming along, volunteering when I can, participating obviously when I can, and so it's really awesome to now be able to be talking at Creative Mornings. It's like being on the other side, and I'm just really, really grateful and thankful, especially now, to be able to be this virtual first person to do this. So we'll give it a go, see how it goes. I'm also really, really thankful to be talking to you about purpose. As you just heard from Ryan, it's a huge part of my mission, and my purpose is helping other people to find their purpose, to communicate their purpose, and to ultimately get other people on board with their purpose so that we can make the world a better place, and I can help them do that through their branding. And so to have this theme of purpose is perfect for me, and I'm really, really excited to be doing that. Okay. So, as I promised in my explanation of my talk, I am going to be talking to you about what purpose is, how and why it's so powerful, and then how you can find your own. And I thought when I was writing this talk that I would do this in the best way that I personally know how to, and talk about it in the best way that I know how to, and that is by talking to you about Harry Potter. Bear with me, might sound a bit wild, but if you know me, and I know there are a few people in the chat who do know me, this will come as no surprise to you. I'm like the biggest Harry Potter nerd. I have literal Harry Potter tattoos on my body forever, for life. So I'm a huge nerd, but if you're not, please bear with me, because it is going to illustrate the point of purpose perfectly, I promise. So just bear with me. If you hate Harry Potter, I'll forgive you, but also it'll be worth it. So okay, let's do this. This is Harry Potter. Look at him. He's so sad. He's so miserable. This is him in the first movie, in the first book. At this point, he has no purpose. He really has no idea what his point in life is, why he's here, why was he born, why does he exist, what is the point in all this. He just sits in his cupboard under the stairs, doing the same thing in and out every day, and he's really, really sad. He's got nothing to focus on, no goals, nothing to work towards. He's just sad, playing with these little horse toys. Sad times. He is 10. At this point, and does have pretty rubbish family, so that does play a part in how he's feeling. And he can't really do much about it when he's 10, but the point still stands that he doesn't know what his purpose is at this point. He really has nothing moving him forward, nothing that makes him feel like he knows what he's doing in life, or he has anything to look forward to, or has goals, or any of that good stuff. But thankfully, as we all know, hopefully, even if you haven't seen the movie or read the books, you will know that our friendly neighborhood half giant comes and sees him and helps him to learn what he's really, really good at. He says, "Harry, you are a wizard, and a thumping good one at that." And this is when he learns that this is what he's naturally really, really good at. He is a natural born wizard. He's really, really good at it. When he goes to Hogwarts, he finds out that he's really a great student, especially in Defense Against the Dark Arts. That's his main subject. But he graduates Hogwarts with like great grades and all of it. And it's well known that he, like the bad guy in the movie, in the books, Voldemort, are incredible wizards. They're really, really powerful. And this is what Harry's strength is in being a wizard, being a really, really good one, and especially being good at Defense Against the Dark Arts. And this, surprise, surprise, is step number one in figuring out what your purpose is figuring out what are you really, really good at? What are you naturally born to do? What are your strengths? What is your magic? What is your version of being a wizard? What are you a wizard at? This is step number one. And then he figures out also what he loves to do. What he loves to do is defense against the dark arts. This is his favorite subject. He loves it. He also loves being really brave. He loves bringing people together to teach them about defense against the dark arts and to get them on board with the subject and to get really passionate about that and to help them get really passionate about it. He starts this Dumbledore's army and teaches them the different spells, teaches them how to be confident, teaches them how to find their own magic and find their own power. That might possibly also be because his crush Cho Chang is in the group and he's really excited about that. But I'm liking to think that right now, for the purposes of this, that he's stoked in this moment because he's found what he loves to do. And we know that this is what he loves to do because he, even after Hogwarts, after all this, after he defeats Voldemort, he goes on to become an Auror. And what they do is find dark wizards and do the same thing. They do defense against the dark arts. So this is his jam. This is what he loves more than anything. And this, surprise, surprise, is step number two in finding out what your purpose is finding out what do you love to do? What is your favorite thing? What makes you come alive? What makes you the happiest? What do you love to do? And then, lastly, is finding out what the impact is that you want to make. And for Harry, that is, he wants to destroy Voldemort, first and foremost, throughout the movies, obviously. That's his core mission and vision. But above and beyond that, his overall vision and the thing that he really wants to do is just rid the world of dark magic. He wants to make the world a better place, wants to make it lighter, happier magic, and get rid of anybody who's doing anything bad. Again, that's why he wants to become an Auror, because he's passionate about making sure that there aren't any dark wizards around. Everybody's being good and awesome and having a great time. So this is step number three, finding out what is the impact that you want to make. What value do you want to bring to the world? What difference do you want to make? What change do you want to bring? What is your impact? So through all this, Harry figures out what his life purpose is. His life purpose is to use his strengths as an amazing, incredible wizard who's really brave, really great at bringing everybody together to become the person who's going to defeat Voldemort and bring light to the world and get rid of all the dark magic in the world. This is his purpose. As we saw at the start of the movie, he had no direction. He didn't know what he was doing. He was miserable. But as he discovers what his purpose is, he gets way more passionate. He's got clarity about what he's meant to do. He's got purpose. He knows what his goals are. He's got way more fulfillment in life. And this is the power of purpose. This is what purpose gives us. It gives us clarity, gives us passion about what we're doing, gives you focus about what you want to do, so that you can achieve your goals. It helps you to clarify what your values are. You can make better decisions. You'll be happier. You'll be more fulfilled. This is the power of purpose. What is purpose? Purpose is the reason why something exists. To put it simply, purpose equals why. This is a quote from Simon Sinek. He literally wrote the book on why. It's called Start With Why, and you might have seen his TED talk about it. And he said, by why, I mean, what is your purpose, your cause, or your belief? Why does your company exist? Why do you get out of bed every morning? And why should anybody care? Obviously, he's talking about companies, but whether you're here today because you want to figure out your company purpose, or maybe you want to figure out your own personal purpose in life, the question is the same. Why do you get out of bed every morning? What is your reason for existing? You'll feel this and you'll know that you've found it out when these three things are in alignment: what you're good at, what you love to do, and the impact that you want to make. When they come together, this is what happens. You put what you are good at and what you love to do come together to create passion. This is what you're really, really passionate about. what you love to do and the impact that you want to make are your vision. That's the difference that you want to make in the world and the thing that you really care about. And then what you're good at and the impact that you want to make come together to be your mission. Oprah Winfrey said that there's no greater gift than to honor your life's calling. It's why you were born and how you become the most truly alive. And this is so true, and you will feel it, I promise you. It's really hard to explain, but when you figure out your purpose and you are living it out, you will feel really, really alive and the most like you. And your story will come to life, your magic will come to life. It's all great stuff. So I promised you that I was going to help you find how you're going to find your purpose. I have got a handy dandy worksheet for you, so you can go and download this afterwards, and I'll send the link to Ryan or whatever, and we'll make sure that we get it to you so that you can go through it. So I'm going to briefly go through it, but then you can go through it properly in depth on your lunch break, or if you're not working right now, you can spend some time working on your purpose, so you can go and download that. The thing that I want to make sure that I point out before we get into this is that finding your why is a process of discovery, not invention. It's not something that you're going to answer overnight. It's not something that you can kind of invent or curate or make up. It's inherently who you are, and it's a process of discovering that and going pretty deep and asking some pretty deep questions and finding out really what is your purpose at the core of who you are. So just want to lay down the expectations that there's no, unfortunately, magic spell that's going to give you the answer tomorrow. And we're not, like Harry, going to have a half giant turn up on our doorstep tomorrow and kind of tell us the answer. So just be aware of that. But step number one is to understand your strengths. The best way that I recommend to do this is actually to do a test called the Strengths Finder test. It does cost, so if you can't do it, it's totally okay, and I'm going to give you other options. But if you can do it, I think it's $20 US. I definitely recommend it. I did it a few years ago when I was part of a leadership team, and then I re-looked at it last year and I changed my whole business because I realized what my strengths were and what my purpose in life was because of those strengths. Because it really helps you understand, okay, am I doing stuff that I'm actually not born to do? I'm actually not made to do. It's actually not my purpose to do those things. And I'm not feeling fulfilled because I'm not living in my purpose. So do the test if you can. Highly recommend it. I think it's called cliftonstrengths.com. Again, I'll send the link to Ryan so you can find that. But if you can't do that, there are some awesome questions that you can ask, and these questions are in that download for you. So, what parts of my current job or life come really naturally to me? What parts are the easiest to get in a flow state doing? What parts make me feel the most like me? What do people come ask me for help or advice with? That's probably something you're really, really good at, right? Because that's why people come and ask you. Or what classes or jobs or tasks do I really, really excel at? These are great questions to think about, to journal about, to ask. And ask other people. There's some extra questions in the book about asking other people, hey, what do you think I'm really good at? If I asked you what my strengths were, what would you say? What would you tell me? What do you think I'm really, really good at? So that's how you find out what your strengths are. Then we want to find out what we love to do. So again, we can ask some of these questions straight up. You can say, what do I love to do? Answer that question. What did I want to do when I was younger? What did I think was going to be my job when I grew up? Did I want to be a fireman or a teacher or whatever? I wanted to be a teacher, and then I got rid of that because I got into design, and then it's kind of come full circle, and now I teach design like magic because it's something that I wanted to do when I was younger, and it is just inherently who I am, and it's what I love to do. And then what can't I stop talking or thinking about? What would I do if I had no limitations, if nothing was stopping me or holding me back? If I didn't have to think about money or any of that, what would I do? Think about when was I the happiest or most fulfilled? When did I feel the most alive? What are the two qualities I most enjoy expressing in the world? This is a fun but also difficult question to ask. And what are the two ways that I most enjoy expressing those qualities? And then decide what impact you want to make. I love this quote from JK. She says, "We do not need magic to transform the world. We carry all that we need inside of ourselves already." And I love this so much. Sometimes I feel like we think that we have to be somebody magical or we have to have something really special or whatever, but you already are special and you already do have everything that you need to change the world. And something else that I want to point out as well is that I talk about changing the world a lot, and my business vision is to make the world a better place, one brand at a time. But when I say the world, I don't necessarily mean that you have to make a global change, that you have to do something like curing climate change or fixing poverty or anything like that. It could be changing your world. How do you make your world a better place to live in? How do you make it better maybe for the people around you, for your friends, for your family, for a small group of people? Or if you feel like going big, maybe you do want to try and solve climate change or something like that. But I don't want you to feel intimidated or feel like if you're not doing something on that scale that you're not making a difference or not changing the world. You are. And if that's your world, that's important and that counts too. So you don't need magic to change your own world. You don't need it to change the people around you or the globe. You already have everything that you need inside you. So these are some questions we can ask about that. What do I care about? Where do I feel like I can add value? How can I help others if I want to do that? What difference do I want to see in the world? What issues am I really passionate about? What do I want my legacy to be? What impact could my purpose have on my own life? And if I could change one thing or impact one person with my passion, what would that look like? I did tell you that these could be quite deep questions. So this is why it doesn't necessarily happen overnight, because you might have to think about these questions. So again, all of these are in the sheet, so you can go and do that. And then at the end, it's going to help you to put it all together into statements about what your passion is, what your vision is, what your mission is, and then altogether what your purpose becomes. And as a reminder, this is what we're doing. We're finding out what are we good at, what do we love to do, what impact do we want to make, bringing them together to find out what our purpose is. And I want to leave you with this because I think this is really important. Albus, he's the man, he says that it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live. And I think this is really important when we're thinking about our purpose, because the worst thing that you could do is figure out what your purpose is and then do nothing about it. What you want to do, figure out what your purpose is and do something about it. Take some action, find your magic, figure out what spells you need to cast and do the thing. So thanks. That's me. Hope you find your magic and become the new Harry Potter. Sorry if that was too nerdy.
Thanks, Hollie. Imagine my clap is everyone, because I'm sure from the chats, everyone is so excited and so damn happy with that talk. You definitely have made us a lot to think about. I'm personally wondering now, what is my purpose? And do I know it?
Good.
There's a bunch of thank yous and a bunch of clapping and cheering, which is awesome. We actually have a few questions if you have time to answer them.
I do. Yeah, fire away.
Awesome. So we have one up here from Vanessa, who says, is these strengths connected to core values at all?
Yes, in a way. Your strengths are not your core values, but your strengths and your purpose influence your core values. So, for example, my strengths are in strategic thinking, relationship building, and creativity. So I'm really good at thinking really big picture, being strategic, being creative, and then also relating to people. So I can kind of bring people's stories out and help them to translate that into something strategic and how to brand that. And then my purpose, which you'll read in the download, because I use it as an example, is that I want to use those strengths to help purpose-driven businesses to build their businesses so that in turn they'll make the world a better place, and I'll help them to do that. So my values are not kind of in there anywhere, but my values are influenced by that, because some of my values, for example, are about always learning. What else is there? That I am all about like championing and empowering my clients and my students. And so those things are driven because of the outcome that I want to achieve and what's important to me. So they're all kind of connected, but it's not, your strengths are not your values, if that makes sense.
Awesome.
Hope that answers the question.
That sounded like a fantastic answer. We have a few more, one from me even. I was wondering, has your opinion or perspective changed or shifted a bit on your purpose now that we're going through such weird and wacky times?
I actually just think my purpose is even more important, and everybody's purpose is more important. It hasn't changed. I think that especially because my purpose is to kind of indirectly help make the world a better place. And also a part of that is to help businesses thrive, especially purpose-driven ones, people who are, in it for a reason, not just to make money. So I think that's even more important now, and there was a period of probably a few weeks where I forgot what my purpose was. And that's when I was like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I was pretty frozen, pretty lost, like I'm sure most of us were or have been or still are even. And then I remembered what my purpose was, and that got me fired back up. I was like, okay, people need me. Businesses need me. They need me more than ever right now. And so that's how I can show up, is to do that. Live out my purpose even more.
That's crazy. That's fantastic. I think a lot of people like myself are going through that right now. So it's good to hear a little bit of affirmation on that. One from Laura here. She says, how scary was making the switch to your work when you revisited your strengths, and what tips do you have for
that? It was terrifying. I'm not going to, sugarcoat it for you. It was scary, mostly because, for some context, I've been a graphic designer for as long as I can remember. I found out in high school that that's what I wanted to do, and I've done graphic design ever since then. And I had a pretty good reputation as being a graphic designer. That's what everybody knew me for, and it was a huge part of my identity. And then at the end of last year, when I shifted everything, I decided I wasn't going to do design anymore. I still do, just because I have like repeat clients who are still hanging out with me. But it really like shifted my whole identity, because I was like, oh, I'm not a designer anymore. So who am I? And that was probably the biggest challenge. And it was definitely scary, but I think just having that clarity on knowing that this is my purpose, I knew for sure that this is what I meant to do. That made it easier, even though I was scared, to make that decision and make that call, because I knew it was the right decision in the long run, even if it was terrifying or would be hard in the middle.
Oh, that's great to hear. Another one we've got from Brandon. He says he loves the Venn diagram and wonders, do people ever get stuck with a two overlap between a mission, a vision, or a passion, instead of having all three of an overlap?
I'm just going to scroll back to it. Yes, I think there are, that does happen. Especially I think people struggle with finding out what their impact should be if they don't plan on like changing something global, like a big global impact. They're like, oh, I don't have that impact to make. But I think that there always is an impact, even if, like I said, that is just making your own life better. So, and again, it's a process. It will come with time. So right now you might only know what you're good at and what you love to do, and maybe your impact will come over time, or the other way around. You might know what you're good at and the impact that you want to make, but you don't really know if that's what you love to do. So it will come over time, and with like mulling over those questions, thinking about them as you're going about your life, it will all come together.
Cool. A few more have just come through. One from Ariana. Sorry if I got the name wrong there. She says, would you stop collaborating with a company that at some point doesn't match your core values?
Yeah, I would. I think, I have pretty, strong values. I'm pretty determined that I don't want to work with people who are not nice people or don't have the right, what's the word? Don't have the right intentions. And so, I would way rather not get paid and not work with them, but feel good about what I'm doing. So yeah, for sure.
It's great to hear.
Yeah. And definitely easier said than done though. It's hard to say no, hard to turn people down, but worth it.
It's for the long game, right?
Yeah.
Claire says, I think it might be a few questions, but what do you think about your strengths and purpose changing over time? Core values might not change, but the others might. Is it helpful to keep checking in every so often? If so, I'm interested how you do that. Do you do it individually or have a trusted someone who you talk to keep yourself accountable?
I do think that it probably will change over time actually, especially as you get better at new things, you learn new skills, I've heard of people who get a new job and like start it and don't think anything of it, and then discover, oh, actually, this is what I love to do. And so, it will change over time. So definitely recommend checking in every so often. It might be something that you do once a year in the new year or something. And then if you do want to have someone to keep accountable with, if you do the strengths finder thing, there are strengths finder coaches out there. It's like a really kind of big market actually. So you can get a coach who can help you to work through your strengths and to see how they change over time and all that stuff. Or you can just have a normal like life coach or business coach or just a friend. Even you could do it together at the end of the year and see, how I was saying earlier about asking other people what they think you're good at, or kind of bouncing those off each other. Definitely good to do it with someone else probably, but most importantly is how you feel about it, because it's your purpose, it's your life. So even if your friends say something, you don't have to just do what they say.
Cool. I have a question here from Faye who says, could you please share the slides later? I think we will already.
Yes.
And the actual question is, what resources, etc., did you look into when starting to look into the topic of purpose? Is there any further reading? And she says this is an interesting topic.
For sure. So the Simon Sinek TED Talk is great. The book, if you watch the TED Talk, you probably don't need to read the book. I did, and it was I don't think I needed to read it. Definitely recommend the TED Talk from him. That's really, really good. And I just read a bunch of articles online mostly to get me started. And then a lot of it has come just from working with my clients and stuff, but I can again share some more resources when I share the slides and stuff, if that helps. Oh yeah, I just saw Neen said, there's the Harvard Business Review. There's a bunch of awesome resources out there, especially because people are realizing that purpose is becoming more and more important. These studies about how especially millennials don't want to work for a company that doesn't have a purpose, and we want to work for businesses that are doing something important. A lot of resources out there, mostly online, but watch the Start With Why.
Cool. And speaking of that, Jennifer just said that Simon is doing a book club every Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern time on YouTube Live for the Start With Why book. So that's a fantastic resource to check out.
Yeah.
If anyone has any more questions, feel free to add them in the call. We've got a little bit of time, but I also want to say on behalf of CreativeMornings, Wellington, Auckland, everyone in the chat, thank you, Hollie. It's been fantastic to have you here.
Thank you.